Hello, beautiful parents. Welcome to a new video. This is me, Mihaela. We cover everything conscious parenting on this channel for parents with toddlers and divorced parents. Sometimes they're one and the same group of parents, divorced with very young children. However, even if you have a teenager, please stay on because this content applies to you as well. So in today's video, I want to talk to you about one of the articles that I wrote a year ago that created more feedback than most of my articles. So it's about the 3T's, letter T in conscious parenting, kind of to give us a mental framework on the things that really matter in our parenting and how we approach every single day with our kids. So the 3T's that I was writing about a year ago are time, trust, and tribe. And in this video, I am going to speak about each and every one of them for just a little bit. But before I dive in, please make sure you subscribe to this channel. It's a new channel, but it will grow, I promise you. And I want you to be one of the first to be a subscriber. There is a free course for you at the end of the video, so please stay till the end. So let's begin. Time, what does it mean? It means that parenting is a long-term game. We have to focus on the long-term vision. We have to approach parenting in the same way that we would approach planting a new garden. We think about the seeds that we want to plant, and then we make sure that we nurture the soil. We don't worry so much in the beginning with how tall the plant will grow and how many fruits this tree is going to give me. We focus on the quality of the soil and the sun and the water. So in a family environment, this translates into us focusing on the quality of the everyday environment in the home. So we prioritize connection. We prioritize repair when a rupture is happening. We prioritize physical, actual time spent with the children as a family or as mom and the child and dad and the child if it's the case of a divorced couple. The physical time spent with the kids really matters because for a young child, time equals love, care, and caring. And I matter. I matter to this very busy adult, but I matter. We have tools in connection such as special time, which is a different video coming up on that. When we plan certain blocks of time one-on-one with each child. But it's not just that, it's also how we react in the moment by moment, when things just happen in the house as life happens, when there is a broken glass or spilled milk on the floor or dirty clothes left behind. How do we react in that moment? And do we make it about correction of the actual behavior in the moment of the rupture, or do we make it about connection and we correct later? Connection and then correction. So time is the first T on this list in conscious parenting because it matters from the perspective of a long-term vision. We approach raising children the same way we would approach if we planted a new garden. So we worry about the quality of the seeds that we're planting in the mind of the child, the system of beliefs that we are helping this child create about himself or herself or about the world. Am I safe in the world? Is the world a safe place? Do I count? Can I rely on my mom and dad to break out and to break down and to have a tantrum? Can I rely on the adults around me that they can contain me instead of lecturing me and punishing me if I have a meltdown? So time means the long-term vision about parenting, and also the physical time, the quality of time that we spend with our kids day in and day out. I did a video recently on my Facebook page, and I was talking about the being versus doing time with our children, being with them versus doing stuff with them. And most parents in the modern way of living life get lost in the doing, even though it's doing with the kids, such as doing grocery shopping and doing soccer practice and going to school and coming back from school. And it seems that we are constantly with our kids, together with them, but that doesn't really count for connection and for safety, for psychological safety. So being versus doing, in other words, we got to be more present when we are with them, and pay attention to how we react to their so-called mistakes, because in the long term, the connection matters and how safe they feel with us matters. And also time encapsulates this idea of making mistakes, and for the child to feel safe, that over time they have the ability to recover from their mistakes, that the adult is there for them as a guide to grow and learn from the mistake. And it's not about doing things the right way today, because it's inevitable. Our children will make a ton of mistakes. They will have problems in school. They will get low grades every now and then. We will make a ton of mistakes with them. So we want to nurture the relationship over time so everyone feels safe in the relationship. So the nurturing of the relationship equals how we would take care of the soil if we were to plant a garden, for example. So that was time. The next letter T that I want to talk about is trust. And this is very interconnected with time in the sense of a long-term vision for the parenting relationship, because trust is being built on the small moments of how we react in our everyday life with our kids. When we are stressed, when we are late for work, when we are behind with the mortgage payment, when we are overwhelmed ourselves, that's how trust is being built. Trust doesn't get built with a big one summer vacation to Grand Canyon or somewhere and everybody's happy for a week. That doesn't build trust. It's the everyday reaction to life that builds trust for the child. So how do we build trust? With educating ourselves about what's going on in our own mental universe. If we become very reactive over and over again, and it's a pattern of reactivity, we want to become really curious about that patterns about ourselves, so we can stay in our adult maturity in the relationship instead of ourselves regressing to a child age. So self-inquiry and curiosity about our own mental universe. We do this with coaching, with therapy, with support groups, with classes, courses, talking to someone who is in a better place than we are, reading books, listening to podcasts. So that's our responsibility, without a doubt. our responsibility. And if you don't know where to start, just start with your reactivity. Write down every time you get triggered, write down in a notebook, and eventually after 10, 14 days, you will notice a pattern. By the way, stay till the end because the free course that I'm going to tell you about has an exercise on how to identify your triggers. We start building trust with prioritizing connection, not correction. It's never about the behavior of the child. It doesn't matter what the child does. Even if you tell me he's lying to me, she is hitting her little brother, he or she doesn't care about school, they're getting a D in math, it doesn't really matter. Behavior is communication. Behavior, depending on the child's age, does nothing else but communicates about the internal struggle of the child. That's what we need to worry about, not correction. That comes later organically once we addressed the connection in the relationship. So every single time you have a huge problem in the parenting relationship, please remember it's a relationship problem. It's not a child problem. And who's in the relationship? It's the adult and the child. And the nurturing and the safety of the relationship falls on us, the adult. So there is a lot that goes on into building trust. I will create more videos on the topic, but for right now, keep in mind, it starts with us paying attention to ourselves, how we react, how we can have more self-regulation. We get help if needed. And second is learning how to maintain more connection with actual tools and mindfulness and presence and listening and compassion and staying with the child, containing the child's emotional episodes when they happen. So a lot goes into trust, I know, but this is for now, for today's video. And then the third letter T is tribe. What do I mean by that? We cannot do parenting alone. We can almost don't do anything alone. Although we are very isolated in today's modern world, if you live in a westernized society, we're all very isolated. It's a one child or two, few, mom and dad family unit. Very often, more than 50% in the United States is either mom and the kids or dad and the kids, because 50% of children grow up with divorced parents. So we're very isolated. We are a unit of one, which means the society that we live in is not set up as a support system for the parents and for the child. So because it's not set up as such, not anymore. It used to be, but not anymore. That means we have to make it intentional to build that support system around us. And that may look different to you than it looks to me and to my neighbor. And that's okay, as long as we have a support system, as long as you know you can count on a handful of trusted people who can help you in different ways. It depends on you, what kind of help you need. Maybe you just need an hour on a Saturday so you can do something for yourself, go somewhere for an appointment. Or it can be that maybe your neighbor can do grocery shopping for you every other week. It can be a support system of women where you meet once a month and you go and you cry and you laugh and you're just surrounded by other women, or maybe a dad's only support group. Whatever it means to you, you have to have the reliability of a support system. The stress that we endure in today's modern world is unparalleled in the entire history of humanity. So please don't think you can do this alone, because nobody can. And if you are doing it alone, there's going to crumble. The house will crumble at some point, because you will start crumbling from the inside out, because we are not meant to do the work of parenting and living life in isolation as a unit of one. We're not built for that. So time, trust, and tribe. There is an article on the topic on my blog with more examples of how you can build each and every one of these 3-letter T's for becoming a conscious parent, or a more present parent, if you will. So you can go to my blog, which is parentingmadeconscious.com. Please do a search, letter 3T's. You'll find the article. Also, please sign up for my newsletter. It will come into your inbox every Saturday morning. I share a lot of great resources in that newsletter. Please make sure you subscribe to this new channel, which I already love, and make sure that you check the link below, because I am going to make a free course available for all divorced parents, or parents who are post-separation, in the middle of a separation, and who are challenged with co-parenting. How to raise a child with an ex-partner. We have to do that. We have to do that in a conscious way. We have to take responsibility for our part in co-parenting. And in this free course, which is called 5 Principles for Conscious Co-Parenting, How to Find Inner Peace, of course, I talk about 5 principles on how you can make your life easier and your children's lives easier in co-parenting with the other parent in a conscious way, with respect to yourself, to the other parent, and to the kids, and with connection in mind. Everything that I do in my work with parents has connection at the heart. Connection, healing, and compassion. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe, and make sure you take advantage of the free video link down below. Thank you. See you next time.